Well, welcome back, Sangha family, uh, fellow meditators, fellow travelers. And this is our first WeAwake meditation for the new year. And here we go again. I did the I Ching the other day, and it was pretty positive. It's pretty good. So it's usually pretty clear. And sometimes it's not always good. It's not just happy talk. But anyway, this year was. So I'm happy about that. And yeah, I had a surgery right in, I don't know, December or something like that. And just kicked my butt for like 3 or 4 weeks afterwards. I was 3 hours under. And after that, proceeded to get influenza A. I was like, just a real bam, knockdown. And one of the things that I'm not just an old guy telling you about all my medical issues, but one of the things that I benefited from that experience was the, as soon as I couldn't do the first, when you have high fever and everything, it's hard to practice. But as soon as I could, I was on it. It's like when you're weak and you're down, it's like, what can I do to do good in the world, and I can practice. Right? Now I can sit up and I can meditate and I can read. And I did. And it's just really helpful. And again, if you will commit to meditating with this technology for an hour a day, it just, I just had friends telling me in the last few weeks but I'm always harping on it like a broken record, practice. But it really makes a difference. I had a friend from Israel that told me, just thank you. You just bugged me so much. I used to teach at JFK University and others. So, and that reflects my own experience. So, let's just do this. And we're doing Re-enchantment, third track, Delta. It's 24 minutes and 54 seconds to be exact. And this is one of the Re-enchantment, Nadja, our dear friend in Germany, no longer of Berlin, southern Germany, they moved. But it's just tremendous. And I use it a whole lot in these last few months. And it's been a real blessing. And if you ever really want to go for it, when you have the time, because, the virus and all this stuff is really coming back in a lot of parts of the world. And so when we thought we'd be through it by this time, it looks like we're still in the middle of it. So, we're going to spend a lot of time yourself. So just redeem these times to work on yourself. And I've been reading a lot because we have this podcast coming out at the end of this month called Deep Transformation, Self-Society Spirit with Dr. Roger Walsh. And if you guys don't know Roger, look him up. He's written many books. He was one of the leaders of the humanistic movement, was there. And he's a PhD and a psychiatrist. And he was there, the birth of transpersonal and the birth of integral. And he's just one of the wisest, humblest, most intelligent men that I've ever had the honor to know and to work with. So I have to really do my study and my reading, to stay in the same ballpark with Roger. So it's really been good for me. I feel like I'm in graduate school again. So it's been a scholarly rebirth for me. And if you listen to this stuff and read, it's even better. And then sometimes after you've read some, really good passages, that you want to reflect on, you stop reading and just go into meditation and just sit with what you're receiving. So with that rather long introduction, let's get rolling with Re-enchantment Delta and assume the position and sit like you're a prince or a princess or a king or a queen in a statue outside of a temple. It's a good way to get your spine and everything in the right order. And you're honoring the divinity within. Namaste, right? So that's what we do. Well, welcome, welcome back. Not that we went anywhere, but that was such a good track. Really, really love that. You know. And anyway, we live in strange times, and a lot of us are getting more opportunities to spend time with ourselves and not be involved in so many social activities. So really make this an opportunity to meditate more, right? To practice more, to work on yourself. And then we'll just be better prepared to do whatever we need to do. And one of the insights that's kind of coming in the beginning of the new year, and is this is like oft repeated, and it almost sounds like a cliche, but if we have hope or we want to transform the world, you know, and however that, you know, socially, ecologically, politically, in good and compassionate and wiser ways, that makes life just more noble and more beautiful experience for all of us, and not just human beings, but all beings. That we really got to work on ourselves, you know. And you know, I mean, there are a lot of excuses, but they're no good ones. And so we can become the people that we need to be, because the transformation is going to happen through human beings. And there's really no problems in the world right now that I can see, and I may be wrong, but they haven't been caused by us. You know, there's an old cartoon strip when I was a kid, gone many, many years ago. And if you recognize this, it means you're maybe a senior citizen, called Pogo. And the famous line in Pogo is, "We found the enemy and it's us," you know? So if we do the time, I think, and do the work, I think Spirit honors that. And it's okay to pray, right? You know, in the integral, a lot of us have left religion behind or got wounded by it. And some of us are still in our traditions, or some of us are spiritual, but not religious, or however it is. But there's ways to approach the ultimate. And the one is to study God in third person. You know, what is God? Theology. You know, what are the principles? What do the traditions teach us, etc.? What do the scriptures say? And then there's, of course, the first person, which is, I mean, the kind of experience that we share with Buddhists and you know, and the higher levels of mysticism and all the traditions. That's where you just, the little you is just absorbed in the all, and thou art that, right? And then there's a second person where we speak to Spirit, or we speak to God as other, like, "Hey, God, you know, it's me again." And I think it's really useful to pray when we're starting a meditation and just ask for help. You know, it's like, you know me, I really suck at this, so I could really use some help. You know, why? Because I want to be a better person. I want to be closer to you. So that's pretty good, noble reason to ask for something. And in the Gospel of John, Jesus allegedly, well, he says in the Gospel of John that he calls the Holy Spirit a comforter. Okay, and you know, brings peace, and brings that feeling that the ultimate okayness of everything. And that's what we mean when we talk about being a contemplative. We it's practice hanging out in the presence of that mystery, the Spirit of God, okay, of that which is of ultimate concern, and that from which everything springs, not only at the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago, they say, but in every moment. Okay. And yeah, and God help us to see God in all things. Okay. And all the craziness is happening. And it's Jeff Salzman, a friend of mine, and his great podcast, Daily Evolver, often says, and I hope I get this right, he says, evolution is amazing, but it's not pretty. Okay. And one of the big lessons to know is that we are evolving, you know, and in one sense, our spiritual work is to collaborate consciously in the perfection of the universe, you know, so that the kingdom of God is within, as whatever that means, right? I don't think it means a hierarchical old political system, but it means that divine order. And in the Gospel of Thomas, which is one of the Gospels that was found, I think, in 1948 in Egypt, Jesus says, the kingdom of heaven is within and without. Okay. And he says within. So that's a good place to start. Or not. I don't care where you start, actually. Any place is good. Walking in the woods is a good place to start, too. So, or walking on the beaches like Rex. And yeah, so I've been informed that I do have a meeting that I have to go to. And we kind of got a longer meditation track than we thought. But anyway, it's all good. And just have a, get in touch, go down deep, meditate for an hour a day, right? And do the other stuff too. Exercise and study and do everything you can to make yourself the optimal person that you can be, okay? And work with your pain and work with your wounds and work with the darkness and work with this despair. Be present with that, or the anger, or whatever it is, and just hold that in the presence that I was talking about. And yeah, you'll be amazed. So let's ratchet it up this year. Let's work harder, more effort, more courageous, heroic effort in our practices of meditation. And it just gets better and better. The more practice, the more you do. If you're really out of shape and you start to work out, it's not very fun in the beginning. But as we get in shape, our bodies get stronger. Exercise is because something that we just love to participate in. It's the same thing with spiritual practice. It gets better over time, and it becomes, it's many things, but it also can be a place of refuge, right? A place where I can go back, and no matter what's been going on in relationally and in your external world, a place where you can find peace and grounding and purpose and meaning and love and okayness and all of that great stuff. So I think that's enough for today. Thank you guys for showing up. I really, really appreciate it. And God bless you.